Alright, excuse my the darkness and the weirdness here. I'm in bed and this is my computer, my screen is beside you here. And, I just finished Her Bodyguard by Geralyn Dawson. And I have to say, I actually thoroughly enjoyed this. I actually want to buy this. I want to buy this now. I don't want to get this cover. I want to get the cover that matches my book that I got, which is actually going to be my next book, and I will get to that later. But I want to talk about this book. I'm going to say I did not the only thing I really did not enjoy, wow, I'm dark there. The only thing I did not enjoy is I wish Geralyn had expanded more on situations or people's thoughts and how they felt and just their reactions on things. I just wish it was explained a lot more, because the plot and the storyline, if you get down to the real bare bones of it, it's a really good story and it's a really good plot idea for the book. I just wish it was expanded. That's what it is. Not explained, expanded more and had more information. That's really all I had negativity about. And I have obvious negativity of how Mari, Mari and Luke Garrett were reacting to certain things while they were talking or yelling at each other, kind of thing. And yes, you can see I'm wearing my nightgown. I'm in my PJs, okay? It was obvious, smack my head, oh my god, when someone was reacting. Obviously they would react that way, but I wish they would react if they were upset about Luke proposing to Mari and she's no, just no, I can't, because of her reasons. But the way Luke would react, or how Mari would react to Luke if he's when he says certain things, at certain points in the book. I have thing right here. I still believe she should have the feeling, but react and speak a little differently, slightly differently. And just on Geralyn's part of how I wish she would have expanded on a lot more of the things in the book. I wish she would have changed it a little bit, but kept the same feelings and the same the same feelings and the same way of reacting and anger or hurt, but different words. Just expanded a bit more, especially when Mari and Luke would react in negative terms. There are a bunch of negative terms like sadness, anger, frustration, and that sort of thing. And the one situation between Mari and Kat, when she finds Kat and the situation, all that going on. I just wish a little. I've already said it, but other than that, as I said, the bare bones of the story, the plot, was really great, and I actually really love Mari and Luke as characters, as the people they are, and their interactions with each other and the way they react, bare bone reaction of the situation, of what somebody has said, and the situation they would be put in. Just, oh my god, it was great. And I have a question that I can't find my answer, because I don't know where it was said. But if any of you have read this book, or the series, especially if any of you have read this book, that was Emma and Casey's home ranch called the Blue Goose Ranch. I need this confirmed because later in the book, words, remember words. Luke buys a place and a plot of land behind it. And I read the name of like the Blue Goose Ranch or Blue Geese, something like that, where it's a color of like a colored bird, not a traditional color of the bird, but you know, I just want to know because I read it at the beginning somewhere and I don't know where, and I'm frustrated about it. But if any of you have read it, please let me down below if it is mentioned that Emma and Casey, for like the 2 weeks that they were together, if it is mentioned that Emma and Casey owned the Blue Geese, I'm betting it's Blue Goose Ranch. If they had it, if you remember seeing that, it's in the first third of the book, or the first half, or the first quarter of the book. It's right near the beginning. It's not in the second half, but it's at least in the first half. Please let me know down in the comments below, because I need to confirm that, because that would be like the most, it's like the perfect thing in the world to read, because when I read it, I'm like, oh my god, wait, is it, wait. And right now, because I read it like Luke buying the ranch was like yesterday I read it, or the day before, but it was like literally recently. In the last 2 days, I read him doing that. And then the other thing that like really got me was the fact of what happened to Kat within the story. Like, it's sort of like a side plot happening along with Mari and Luke's main story. And I'm like, what is going on? Because like, I'm like, wait, what? That can't be happening. And so I tease myself with the next book, and I'm like, okay, it's okay. It's something must obviously happen in her Bodyguard that causes the plot to happen in the I've already know this because of I needed to find out I'm excited, okay? I'm really excited because I finished the epilogue like seconds before I started this video, and I'm like, wait, that can't be happening to Kat. And so I go and read my book. And so I read it and I'm like, okay, it's okay. But I also am teased by a name that's in the second book. And I'm like, this is like somewhere like in the middle of reading her Bodyguard, where I needed to find that little bit of information out. And as you know, I so quickly skim to find out whether it's that book, she's in the next book or not. And I find out my information, and it's okay. But I am teased about one of the names in that book. And I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't see that. And then I get that name in like the second to last chapter of this book. And I'm like, wait, I've seen that name. That name's in the next book. Why, wait, who is this person? Who is this Kimball? Because that's the last name. And I'm like, who is this person? Like, it's only mentioned once. The name is mentioned, I think it's the last name. The word is mentioned once. And it's never mentioned again, obviously, but it's never mentioned in that second to last chapter, nor in the last chapter, which is the epilogue. It's never mentioned again. It's literally mentioned once in a sentence. And I'm like, who the F is this? Why is he mentioned? I want to know more. Like, and the fact that he's supposed to be in the next book, and I'm like, what is his significance? Why would he be mentioned? I think I know why, because of my little tease of there, but I wasn't fully thinking that when I was reading that, and I'm like, whoa! And then I'm reading the last chapter, which is finally, like, it's the wedding, because, like, you're not going to have a Bad Luck Brides series and not have an actual happy wedding within the book. Because they've all had a wedding. Well, all of the people who have been over here in Fort Worth have had a wedding. All the people who, well, except one, because I wasn't able to read that book. Everyone who's been over in, you know, in the UK, the United Kingdom island, they haven't done the wedding. Like, they've said, like, oh, we're gonna have a wedding, but they've never actually done it. They've alluded to it, like, yes, obviously they're getting married and all that such, but never actually got married. But all of the people who, like, you know, Trace and Jenny, Ty and Claire, Mari and Luke, married, have a chapter mentioning the actual wedding ceremony of them being married. I have no idea about the book of the Scottish bride and like the Texan husband who goes to find the Declaration of Independence for Texas from the Republic and that sort of thing. That was book 3? No, it was book 4 because 1 and 2 were Trace, Ty, and then book 3 was the Chili Queen. Yeah. So, and then book 5 was Claire, and yeah, she was, so the Scottish bride was in book number 4. This is book number 6. I think I might have my numbers wrong, but yeah. As like, okay, so let's get back to the actual, I love the epilogue in this book. Like, I kind of like was on the fence about this book, and I'm like, it could go either way. But I feel like these last 2 chapters have like cinched this book. As I said, I am going to buy this book now. This epilogue was beautiful. Like when Mari and Luke were actually like standing in front of the minister, like having the whole ceremony, what they were saying to each other was the sweetest things in the world. Oh my heart was like, oh my heart was just like, oh my god, it was beautiful. It was so lovely and funny at the same time. And it's just what they said and what they did was like the perfect thing that they could do as characters. Like, their character was just, oh my god, it was beautiful. I loved it, and I've been gushing about this book for the past 16 minutes. I love this book. I am buying this book because it's not mine. It's a library book. Also, it's an interlibrary loan. I had to get this from all the way out. It's in Ontario, but somewhere in a place named Gananoque. I don't. Can you read? Can you read any of that? If I can read it when I'm editing this video, then yes. Other than that, I probably will like put it on screen for like better visual, or I'll just put it in my notes about this book. But I recommend this book. The editor was not very good about this book because there was some misspellings, like oh my god, and then like the grammar sometimes. I would be reading something, and then it would be like a loop, and I'm like, wait, no, that didn't make sense. And then I'm like, oh, that's the wrong word. That is not the word they should have used there. They should have used the other word. And then the sentence would make sense. I wouldn't have had like the hiccup. That's what it said. Oh, there's something poking, and it's not pleasant. But anyway, I recommend this book. I recommend it hard. As I've said, you may have like this wave of like, oh, it's good, and oh, maybe not so good. Oh, yeah, okay. But you should, and by the end of this book, in like the last third, definitely with the last 2 chapters, you will be hardcore for this book. If those sex scenes, like literal, like they were hot. If the sex scenes for you romance readers have not hooked you, then the last chapter or just the last 2 chapters, we will just like this will be happening. Just yeah. So I recommend it. And now I'm gonna buy it because like this was really good and I want to be able to read it. And like the whole fact of like this whole bad luck love line of like how the sisters that you meet in the first book, it comes around to like this. It's just amazing. But I have no idea how the others are tied to the whole thing, like the Rosses, like the UK family, and also nail Hitch and Claire, because she's the bad luck wedding nights. She's the wedding planner. I have no idea how she's tied in with the whole thing. Like, I understand the whole like bad luck business side of it because that makes sense with the whole with Jenny and Claire, but none of that family, like the Ross family over there in England, I don't even know, like, yeah, they're all living over there pretty much, more than likely. I don't know about the Chili Queen because she's probably back in the US, but I have no idea about that family. The only mention of that family is the fact of, remember the previous book to this, there was a newspaper article from the Wilhelmina Peters column, and it mentioned Emma and Casey's wedding, and that the fact that one of the Ross daughters was kidnapped. And I'm like, I can't wait for that fucking story. But then we get this. And it's not about Emma, it's about Mari. And I didn't even realize, I did not even think about that little column until the end of until that last chapter, like literally, yeah, just that whole chapter, because they mention hold on, let me get some exact words. I know it's mentioned. I gotta give me it. There we go. Hold on. Here it is. All right. Then there were the bigger animals the McBride boys released at Emma's wedding, along with the disappearance of wedding guest. The complete story of that mystery, something the people of Fort Worth have yet to be told. And now I'm like, oh my god, yes, that flippin' happened. Wait, and I'm saying this now, like, why did that not happen? Why did I not get that in this book? But that is because of the situation of Casey and Emma, which I don't want to, give away, because you need to read that to find out about that information. And now I'm like, where is this supposed to be mentioned? Because we have 2 books left. And I'm like, apparently we're supposed to find out that information. I want to find out that flippin' information. Because I think I was saying this before, but none of the Rosses, like Claire and like the other 2 that were mentioned previously, they're not in this book. It's only mentioned that they have connections there, or that they have cousins, when they're not actually cousins, because there's no blood relation over with that side of the family. Because for one thing, Claire is not a blood relative. Neither is the Queen of Chile. Like Chili Stan, and like the Chili, nor her brother. And like, how are they supposed to be tied in the story? Other than the fact that one of Claire's stepdaughters was kidnapped, mentioned about being kidnapped in the previous book. which I will have all of this series linked down below of my reviews. And like like need the information. But yeah, I don't know what happened, where I was getting, but like I recommend this book hard. I'm gonna be buying it. As I said, you might go a little up and down, but like the last of the book, you will fall in love, and especially the sex scenes. Oh my flipping god, they were so good. Like, sorry, but yes, I recommend this book, and I want to buy the Matchbound paperback because it will match the one I have, and I'm hoping I like the second to last book because this one was so good. But anyway, I get to take this back on Monday, and now I get to this book, Her Scoundrel by Geralyn Dawson. Now, since reading Her Bodyguard, and then I go onto the library and have the other book, and it matches this one. So we have a bride, and she's holding a red pendant necklace. So I'm curious as to what this cover would look like with her holding the blue pendant, because that's hers. The blue pendant is Mari's, and I get to read this to you that will find out who this sister is. If you haven't read the series, all that, I will tell you who this is by reading the back. This is the second to last book in the series. I have one more after it, and I get to borrow it from my library, so it will come a lot sooner than waiting for an interlibrary loan. So yeah, let's read the back, and this is where I was alluded to who this book is about, and also the word Kimball. The person of the name Kimball. And I'm like, I need more information about that name Kimball. So let's read. Dear friends, another letter, just like this one. Bad luck, bad timing, and a truly bad decision have taken the mischief right out of this menace. Grown up and wiser, I'm finally ready to take charge of my life. I'm through being impulsive. I'm done being reckless. I will not take up with another scoundrel again. So much for good intentions. Jake Kimball is a legend. Daring, dashing, and dangerous. A treasure hunter by trade, he has traveled the globe seeking adventure and stealing hearts. But now he sets his sights on me. Facing a threat unlike any other, Jake needs something only I can provide. He lures me with a dream I believed lost forever, and tempts me with the chance to change my bad luck. Dare a menace put her trust in a scoundrel? Maybe, as long as her father doesn't find out. Love, Cat McBride. So here we go. Yes, I had to make sure that this, the whole thing, like the side thing with Cat in here, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you what, but in here I was like, wait, no. There's supposed to be a cat story. So I had to skim this a little and make sure that, yes, we do get a cat story. And then I see like the name Jake Kimball, and I'm like, oh, no, I didn't see that. I wipe it from my mind, and I literally wipe it from my mind, and then I see the name Kimball here, and I'm like, wait, what does Kimball have to do with anything? Why is he mentioned? Apparently, he is a treasure hunter. To what end? Does he get it for a museum? Does he get it for a collector? Does he get it just to sell it and get money? We don't know, but apparently he's a scoundrel and seeking adventure and stealing hearts. So, oh, like these covers are beautiful. But anyway, you see this? That's the Bodyguard cover. That's what it's supposed to look like. You can't see the color, but anyway, I got this thing here. You don't get that in a large print. You are an infinitely kissable woman, Cat McBride, even dressed up like a frumpy old woman. Jake caught her hand and brought it to his mouth. He stared into her eyes and sucked her fingers, one by one. Okay, first off, does anyone really like that being done to them? Other than having, like, a substance cleaned off their fingers, like chocolate or caramel or what have you that would taste good. And no, other that. Does anyone find that pleasing? If I'm reading it attached to a bunch of sex scenes, then yeah, it's freaking hot. But like in general, does anyone find that hot? A turn on? Does anyone? You can let me know down in the comments below. I read the stuff and I just, some things just, it doesn't make sense that that would be like hot and appealing and like make your toes curl and whatever. For the first time in memory, Kat thought she might swoon. The man had stumped her. Nothing was going as planned. He was supposed to be with Emma at the fish pond. Not here. Kissing her, sucking her fingers, sending her senses into a tailspin. She should slap his face. She should kick him in the shins. Although, if he'd kissed her for merely snooping, no telling what he might do if she attacked him. I'm trying to be sexy, but I don't know if it's working. Like, if it's not working, you can tell me, just don't be nasty about it. We have a prologue. Wait, hold the phone. Okay, that's 8 years. This prologue here is 8 years prior to this thing. Because this is in 1888, and then where's the actual chapter start? Stepdad, I need the actual chapter, and I need to make sure I find the actual chapter. 2 years later. 1888, 1889, 1890. Okay, so that's 10 years prior. What is here? Excuse me, old book breeze. Like, see the color discoloration? And like when you're doing this, you get like old book breeze. This is pretty white, so it's relatively new. I actually don't get anything, but if I blew like one of my newer books like this, I probably would get like new book breeze. Alright, I need to get to the back of the book. Alright, I got a prologue, so we've got 2 chapters. 20 chapters. This one, what was this one? I don't know what, it's in the other book, but we've got 20 chapters here. And this, I read pretty fast, like 2 weeks. And I get like 3 weeks with this? Oh yeah, so this is my next book. And, yeah. Anyway, I hope you like this actually long review because I gushed about her Bodyguard. If you did, please hit that like button down below. And in the comments that I asked before, you can leave comments down below if you've read the series, how you liked it. And, just don't be negative, don't be nasty, because we do not need that in the world, okay? And if this is the first time you're watching my video, please hit that big red subscribe button down there by my picture for more book reviews, hauls, unboxing, unbagging, because something's coming in a bubble wrap manila envelope or a plastic bag wrapped thingy. Vlogmas, random vlogs, and random videos. I have no idea what to categorize. Alright, I gotta go because I gotta watch the last episode of Gilmore Girls and probably go to bed because I don't know what time it is. And yeah. So I will see you all in my next video, which I really don't know what that's going to be. Maybe a haul, maybe, I don't know. It's either going to be a haul because I want to do some fall shopping Monday, or it will be a book review. Who knows? Anyway, I hope to see you in my next, wow. What do I say? I hope to see you in my next video. I don't know what I'm saying now. I gotta go. Bye, everyone.